new equipment, better equipment. I mean, we just got some new helmets in, and I mean, these helmets are, man, they're a little different than anything that I ever wore. But I think people are trying. People are trying to do everything they can to help. But I mean, the game is just a fast-paced collision sport, and unfortunately, depending on the guy. I mean, I've had my share of concussions in college and the NFL, about 5 of them. So, I mean, you're most acceptable to have them once you get one. But I think all college leagues, NFL leagues, I think everybody's trying. But it's just one of those deals when you got guys running that fast and they're that big and hitting each other. It's a little rough.
So are you saying you had 5 concussions total between Bama State and the NFL?
Oh, no, I have probably 5 or more. I know I had like 5 in the NFL, maybe 3 that's like righteously documented where I came out of the game and couldn't go back in. Like that's on paper. But I mean, obviously there were other times you feel a little foggy. You feel a little, I don't feel too good. But I don't know, you find a way to stay in there or, just work through it.
What I'm saying now, okay, now, you did a lot of special teams work. Like, dude, how you able to be foggy, and be back there trying to receive, punts and stuff like that? How does that work?
Yeah, I think it's focus. It's the word focus is when concentration meets clarity at a specific goal that you're trying to achieve. So my goal, what I had to achieve was catching a punt. So it was clear your head for this, however long it's going to last, focus in on catching the ball. And then once we're done with that, we'll go and see how we can get better. But, I mean, I'm not the only one. I mean, guys play in that league. I've seen many guys dinged up, almost going to the ground because the equilibrium is off, but still play. I mean, it's just, I don't know. We've always been kind of taught to be, I hate to say barbaric, but, taught to just play through it. And you play with pain and you figure out and we'll take care of it afterwards. So, unfortunately, that's probably not the best way to do it. And there's a lot of people that's suffering from it at this point.
I'm glad you mentioned that. This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway on the line with Reggie Barlow, head football coach of the Virginia State University Trojans. The Trojans currently 2-0. Bye week this week as they prepare for next week's matchup against the CIAA powerhouse Winston-Salem State University. Now, you mentioned that there's some guys that you played with that are that are actually I guess what injured as a result of some of the fast play that happens in the National Football League. But how many people do you know, like, for sure? And I don't need any names, but like people that are suffering from like this whole concussion thing, like the long-term effects of being concussed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put a number on it. I think many of the guys that I talked to, that I played with, guys that are from Montgomery that played in the NFL, I mean, these guys are all, include myself, are suffering from that time of playing ball. And, obviously we all would go back and do it again because we love the game. But, whether it's irritability, mood, there's a lot has changed. And, obviously it's something that I'm learning to accept and deal with in my own way. But my people, if you talk with them and people that have known me since I've played and since I've been done, they all can speak on Coach Barlow is probably not the same. But it is what it is. Like I said, that was a great time in my life playing ball and playing with the guys that I played with. And you just have to take it and learn from it. I got a son now that don't play football, thank God. So, but I coach football, and I try to make sure I talk to our guys about when you feel something and you're not feeling quite right. You're not any tougher by not saying anything. So just trying to help others with it.
Absolutely, but and it's funny you brought up your son. But if he did want to play football, knowing what you know now, would you let him play?
I mean, I would. I would let him play and let him experience. I mean, he played Little League football and was really good at it. I mean, he was really good at it. But I mean, my son is a little sarcastic little guy, and he said to me plenty of times like that, "Why would I want to play football when I see you can't remember things? And I've seen you." So he's like, he's throwing it back on me. So, well, I get it. I mean, if he wanted to play, then certainly we would let him play. But, you know, the fact that he don't play or not interested in it, it doesn't bother me. I'm good with it.
Absolutely. Now, before I let you go, man, now I've had you on this show. I've been doing this show now. I think this is the 5th year I've been doing this show. And you know, we've had some real conversations about some real stuff about, you know, football, about Bama State, about, you know, everything. Dude, I read a story, and I'm not sure where I read it. It was around the time of the NFL draft. But I had never heard this before, and maybe you can enlighten me and the listening audience. But I read somewhere you wrote this thing about when you got drafted, how like while you were away, I guess while you were away at the visit or at the draft or whatever, like you came back and your mom's house had gotten broken into because folks thought you had something. That's true,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's real true. See, I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, and no shame to my neighborhood. I grew up in this neighborhood called Ridgecrest, and I tell you, Rob, we never had cable TV until the week of the draft. I'm talking about ever in life. I'd never watched cable TV unless I was at somebody's house, and so I mean, we didn't have a bunch, and I got drafted on a Sunday. On a Sunday, I got drafted, and I want to say it was the Tuesday after that, someone broke in our house. Like, where's money? You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different place over there. And then they did it maybe 2 weeks after that. And we were blessed to be able to get my mom and move her out from over in that area. But there are some great people over there. I still spend a lot of time over there when I'm in town. But, yep, it happened, man. They were looking for that NFL check, brother. Hadn't gotten it yet.
Like it was going to be one check. Like it was just going to be there.
and in cash.
No doubt about it. He is Reggie Barlow, head football coach of the Virginia State University Trojans, currently 2-0 on the season, getting ready for a big CIAA showdown next weekend against Winston-Salem State University. Reggie, thank you so much for joining us on the show. And, of course, brother, you know, I wish you nothing but the best. And I guess go Trojans. You know, usually I say go Hornets. Go Trojans.
Go Trojans, man. I certainly appreciate it, Rob. Thanks a lot.
It's all good, bro. Be good, man. All right, and so that'll about do it for this week's edition of the HBCU Report. I'd like to thank you guys for hanging out with us. For those of you just tuning in for the very first time via the Two Live Stews radio network, hopefully it wasn't too bad. And hopefully you'll tune in once again next week, 8 o'clock on the East, 5 o'clock on the West. The show can also be heard via TuneIn Radio, also iHeartRadio. You can download the HBCU Report on demand anytime you want via Google Play for Android and also iTunes. And remember, when we're not here, we're there. There is sportsnewsandbrews.com, our official content partner for all things sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com.
It's the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
Heard the call to build your small business? Make it happen with a .net domain name, the place for dreamers for 30 years and counting. Visit keepdreamingup.net for tips and advice. Whether you're just getting started or looking to grow, that's keepdreamingup.net.